Greetings everyone and welcome to Keeping Up with Papa Life After Work, where we find out how one man manages to keep himself busy, physically active, and mentally engaged after retirement with projects. Today's project, well, it is late September here in north central Florida, and it's time to get started on the fall and winter garden. Let's check it out.
Compost is my fire burner. So that's one. I had to stop for a feeder band passing through. Going for 150 miles to the west of us. So it's there. That's right there on your cat. And she had a mouthful of it too.
Welcome back. Well, today is day 2 of this preparation process. Yesterday we added fresh soil to 2 of these bins where the soil had dropped down over the last year, and then we had to stop for reasons that will become obvious in a few minutes. Today we're going to amend the soil with some black cow composted manure, and then we're going to plant. Let's get started. Interesting sidebar, until basically yesterday, these 3 beds, this one being the exception, I'd already done it. These beds looked exactly like these 3 beds. I had not done anything to them since springtime, and they were completely grown up with weeds. In case you're curious, this is an avocado tree gifted to me by a neighbor. I plan to plant it in the yard, when it gets about another foot and a half taller. Hopefully that'll be sometime next spring. Just last week in this bed I planted strawberry starts. They should do well between now and springtime. Whoa! No way, I'm not going to sit on him. Whew. Bad boy, bad boy. If you saw my video on how I built the garden, you'll recall there's a lot of debris underneath this with soil on the top. As the debris composts down, we add more soil. That's what we're doing right now. First, air to the wheelbarrow tires. That's the first time I've ever used that. As you know, there's always something that messes you up. In this case, a tree top came out of a tree and landed right on top of my compost pile. Haven't cut it up yet. That's good enough. This is composted pine bark. Makes an incredibly rich soil. It even comes with earthworms.
had to stop for a feeder van passing through. The storm's center of circulation is a good 150 miles to the west of us, but we still get a lot of rain, and tonight we're going to have some pretty serious wind. Welcome to Florida. 7 loads later, all done. I'll be adding in 2 bags of black cow composted manure to each one of the raised beds, then I'll be ready to plant. I like to use black cow as a soil amendment. I find it just works really well. One thing I've never learned to do is wear gloves. You know what? I've got another tool I might like to try for doing this. Be right back. Oh yeah. Huge difference. Huge difference. Okay. This is called a council tool. It's something used by firefighters to cut fire lines. I own one because I do some volunteer work with a local biology station and occasionally have to do some cutting of fire line related items with them. And I also use it here around the property for various activities. Lots of times it works really well weeding in the lake. Much wider than this, and it really cuts well. Again, that's Council, C-O-U-N-C-I-L, Council tool. When I finish mixing, I'll level it all out nice and smooth with the standard iron rake. Again, council tool. All right, let's get this leveled back out. Now I have very nice, very well amended, fluffy, rich soil. In some cases I have big pieces of root matting down in here. The tendency is to pull it out, you don't like it in there, but at the same time it looks to me like it's dead, and a great method of holding water. It's like a sponge. So typically I'm just turning it all back in. Okay, ready to plant. Well, planting time, and admittedly this is where I typically fall off the rails. I've actually done pretty well the last couple of years, but I haven't quite gotten a sequence down for when to plant what.
For example, if I plant a lot of lettuce, you would probably plant that in stages. If you plant radishes, you would plant those in stages because they grow so fast. You don't end up harvesting everything at one time. You can't eat them all. Same thing with the carrots. So what I have chosen to plant this time around is spinach and radishes and head lettuce and carrots. And I'm going to try beets. I tried beets last year, it didn't work too well. We'll try it one more time. Also, I'd like to plant cabbage and broccoli. Now the first 5 I'm going to put in these two, nice. I'm going to put in these 2 beds. The cabbage and broccoli are going to go on the ground beds back over here. My theory there is I'll plant cabbage and broccoli in one, and then maybe 4 weeks later I'll plant cabbage and broccoli again, and we'll have a rotating. Those 2 vegetables can grow here in the wintertime without too much problem at all. Same thing will apply for rotating or scheduling the different beets and radishes and such within these beds. So I'll plant a row or 2 of each and then come back and replant, I don't know, 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. We'll see. One thing nice my wife did for me when I started doing all this is she bought me some nice plant labels. So I'll be able to use these over and over again over the years because they're, I guess, aluminum and aluminum. Okay, let's start off with radishes. It says sow seed, plant at 1 week intervals to extend the season. Plant in late summer for a fall crop. 1/2 inch deep, 1 inch apart, rows 12 inches apart. Germination should take place in 4 to 10 days. Okay, so here we go. Well, this is where my video skills also fall off the rails. You would think if I am shooting a video on how to plant a garden, I would be showing you how I planted my garden. No, somehow or another, it didn't cross my mind to point the camera angle down. Anyway, I think you understand the basics, so I'm just going to move on from here. I think 2 rows will be plenty. I'll come back later. Something right there. Okay. If there's a better way to do this, somebody let me know. And honestly, if half of these germinate, that's going to be twice as many as I can really eat at one time. So I will put a marker for each row just in there just to know exactly where the row is in case it takes a while for something to come up. Oh, and for my nieces, Emma and Grace, if you're watching, I want to order a special radish this year called a Daiku radish. Hopefully that's pronounced correctly. It's about 1 foot long when it's time to harvest. I'll save some for you. And that's really it. I'm not going to make you sit through planting this second bed. You understand the process from the first one. We'll just kind of run from there. Then I'm planning on weeding at least 1 of these, maybe 2 of them. I'll probably put the cabbage and the broccoli in here. And then I'll probably, if the winter squash will work this time of year, I've got to research it. I'll probably put that in there. And by the way, high raised beds versus these low raised beds, wow, what a difference on working on these. I may figure out later on if I can actually put these up on a table, something along those lines. Will make life a lot simpler. Well, that's it. And as always, comments and questions? Well, no, that's not it. You know, it's essential that every gardener have a skilled gardening partner. And in my case, you know, I think I had the very best. There is no one better suited to help you in the garden than your 2-year-old great-granddaughter. Right there. That's perfect. Can you do more?
Good job, Nora.
Okay. What in the world is that?
It's dirt.
It is dirt. Yep.
Nora, can you pull
That's
the weeds?
dirt.
Oh, that was a big one. Give it to Papa. Give it to Papa. Did you? Is that a big one?
Great. What's that?
Dirt.
That's dirt. Mm-hmm. Okay. Excellent. Ooh, a face full of dirt. You got it right there on your chest. And she has a mouthful of it too.
You like working in the garden? Go give Papa a high five. Go give Papa a high five.
Mommy.
All right.
Mommy.
It took her a while, but she got it weeded and we planted it. Well, that's it. And as always, comments and questions are welcome, and quite frankly, advice would be very much appreciated. Please remember to like and to share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Keeping Up with Papa, Life After Work. Papa out.